He's going to critique every second.
We're live.
Hey, and welcome to the first ever No Crying in Fantasy Football live streaming show. The Week 1 recap for the 2020 Fantasy Football NFL season. And despite everyone's bitching and moaning, we're doing this, and I am pleased and proud to present my co-hosts for the first ever live streaming show. For crying out loud, we're calling it, by the way. I got the co-owners of Pizza Bagels, the best fantasy football name in the land. Thank you. We got with us Pizza, the Italian, Fred Pila. Welcome, Fred.
Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody.
And also,
here.
Yes, it's a pleasure to have you. And also, we have looking as suave as ever, just like me, the bagel in Pizza Bagel, Jay-Z, the original. What's going on, Jay-Z?
I'm happy to be here. I'm excited for our first ever podcast, whatever we want to call this. Looking forward to the discussion.
Yeah, it's a live streaming show, and you can call it.
Mistakes will be made.
A lot of mistakes will be made. And I have no idea how this is going to go down. I guarantee you everyone in the league is going to complain about the quality and the job that we've done. But it's on my shoulders here. And
they will completely hate it.
They will probably completely hate it. And that's a good way to start off because in this league that I've been commissioner of for about 5 or 6 years, it's been history that I would write a weekly email recapping the events in our league in a fairly long, significant email that would take me, as I mentioned, hours to compose. You know, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and it's long in nature, so it's just something that every Tuesday morning takes me several hours to do. And so I thought so in the spring, just to give people a little background, we did this live streaming event for our Touch Football League that we have here in the city every Sunday morning, and it was fun. We enjoyed doing it. I think you guys did a great job co-hosting. We did like the season awards that we give out every year, and we did it on YouTube, and people joined in, and it was a lot of fun. So I figured, okay, instead of doing this weekly email, which I'm going to get into in a second, just takes a long time, we'll do this instead. And so that's what we're doing. And again, thank you for joining us. It's going to follow very much the same format of the emails, just talking about what happened in the NFL and then what happened in our league, and then looking forward to the next week. But, here we are. Okay?
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so I start off those emails every week with a haiku. So I figured I'd start off this live streaming event with my own haiku. And here it is. Are you ready? This is like a slam poetry.
At least they're not being cheated out of that.
That's right. Well, I wrote one, in announcing the live streaming event.
It's like a bonus haiku.
This is a bonus haiku. You're right, Fred. By the way, we have no one joining us yet.
That's okay.
Right? No, okay.
It's fine. They'll watch at some point.
They'll watch at some. Entitled owners demanding more written words. Well, here's 2 of them. Can you see? Bite me, okay? That's the best writing I've done all year long. I mean, seriously, these guys. Alexi is joining us. Alexi's here, and
We knew he would be.
We knew he would. Thank God for
Like
Alexi.
he wouldn't miss this for all the pizza in the world.
How do
Try if he wants to.
Alexi is joining us, and thank God for Alexi for being a valuable member of the No Crying League, especially because.
Technical difficulties on Darren's end.
So Darren is cut out a little bit. So I think what he was saying is thank God for Alexi because his donation is appreciated every year.
He also he also provides sort of the yin to Farhan's yang. There are two people in this league who I think do a really tremendous job of giving Darren a really difficult time. All in good fun, of course, but the wit and the creativity of that wit that comes from both Alexi and Farhan is second to none, as far as I'm concerned. I look forward to their emails as much as I used to look forward to Darren's weekly emails.
Oh no! As soon as the email comes out, about 20 minutes, half hour later, one of them is going to respond with something just chopping Darren down a notch and making you laugh as you sit at work.
It's good stuff.
Wondering when the next football game is going to start.
Well, we've lost our fearless leader, Pizza. Should we take this show over?
I guess we're going to have to take it over. And as only the Pizza Bagels can do, as we took over the FDL, we will take over this as well.
So what did you want to talk? What do you want to talk about first? Or where do you think Darren's show was going? I assume Darren will rejoin us in a few minutes.
Yeah, Darren did want to talk about the draft, which was fairly quick.
Oh, he's back.
There he is.
Oh my God! Already, I don't know when I went up. My internet sucks, dick. I've been having so much trouble with my internet. So,
as anybody who plays poker with you knows.
Yeah, I mean it's the tournament. Oh my God! So I signed on for FiOS, but they're like so swamped. They're not coming for a couple of weeks. So
we just finished complimenting your nemesis. Nemesis?
No, if it's one, it's a nemesis.
Yeah, but you have two.
No, it's two.
Farhan and Alexi. And how we look forward to their comments to your writings as much as we look forward to your writing.
Right.
So Alexi being on the show right now is an important feature. We needed him to balance us.
Is he still here? Is the question.
He's still here. He's sending in all these comments.
How angry is he?
He's angry. So, anyways, all right. So, you guys just talked about Farhan. So,
yeah,
you kept going at least. You held the fort.
Okay. Of course.
That's impressive.
We didn't let dead air hit.
Okay, I appreciate that. But the point that I was making was that because these owners in our league are requesting a lot of work from me. You know, they don't quite understand the amount of effort and time I put into this. And this is one of a number of things I have on my plate each and every week. You know, I have the poker game, I have the touch football game I organize, I have this other league, I do this podcast.
He even has children.
I do. I mean, they were on the list, Fred. I was getting to them at some point. I have children and a wife that I care about, and beyond that, a real job that pays actual money. It's anyway. I think we have a bunch of entitled owners in this league, but I'm here to entertain, and so we're gonna try and do this. But it was good to have football back. Am I right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We needed it. The country needed it. Fantasy football owners really needed it.
Yeah.
Football was a welcomed
distraction
from what is the everyday world of bullshit and ungodliness.
Yeah, 2020 has sucked in every imaginable way. And this is like one thing that has happened this year, which has, I mean, and again, knock on wood, it's probably this week we'll have 5 teams with outbreaks, but it is almost
you guys. I didn't know research. Like my research from a year ago is down like 85% because I had no feeling that there was going to be a season whatsoever.
Yeah.
Well, aside from that, there wasn't a whole lot to research given they scrapped the preseason, which you would get a lot of information. You'd have to trust the media and the writings of those that are, I guess, most closely in touch with the teams to try to figure out what their depth charts would look like, how they were using players, and I guess leave it to that. You had no real eye test that I think we normally rely on. At least I do. I don't know what Darren and I know Pizza, I know you do, but we watch preseason games. We watch highlights and we listen to the commentary about those games. We didn't have that this year.
I didn't even watch the Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks was great this year. Yeah, it was excellent because they went into a lot of detail about how all the teams were handling the COVID stuff. And
well, that's the whole thing. I didn't want to go and watch it and just be more COVID. You know, I wanted Hard Knocks to be about Hard Knocks. I watched like the first 10 minutes.
Well, there were no games. There were no preseason games.
So much COVID. I was like, eh.
Yeah, it was entertaining. And I think you're right. The lack of preseason, not knowing for sure, not feeling confident that we were going to have a season. You know, when the Marlins and the Cardinals started going through their COVID issues, I just thought, there's no way. I mean, baseball, it's tough, and it's tough because you have locker rooms, but you don't have face-to-face contact. It's a lot easier to isolate yourself, and they were having trouble getting teams to stay healthy. So I didn't think there was any chance there was going to be football. Every football team. There's 53 players, obviously, and then there's like huge coaching staffs, and it's outrageous.
Training staffs, and
and then don't you have now this year an expanded practice squad on each team? I think each team has 16 practice squad players, so you got 69 players and probably another 20 coaches.
Yeah, it's insane. They did something like 5,000 tests in the week one, and they didn't have one positive, which I actually do not believe. I think somehow the NFL is hiding something from us for some reason.
Belichick had probably like 4 or 5 positive tests, and he just swept them under the rug.
He had his own, I guess they don't use urine, but yeah. So, but it was an impressive first week, and I thought actually that given that they didn't have any preseason games, given that the training camps were shortened and not not full contact until the end. I mean, I thought the quality of play was actually pretty decent. I didn't notice.
You could see in the beginning of the games, guys were kind of finding their way a little bit, but you can say that about almost any season probably. But it just seemed a little bit of rust coming off the hits and all that. But by the second or third drive, I think every player on every team was just back into it. I mean, it's not the first time these guys have played, so
yeah, it seemed like football. They've been doing it their whole lives. Yeah,
it's not like the three of us going back out to Booker T to play a 2-hand touch football game. That's rust.
Oh, you have no idea. I was in pain for Monday and Tuesday this week. I could barely walk on Monday. I don't know how I got to work.
Yeah, this was your first game. We had 2 games. Yeah. This was your first game. So yeah, no, it's but they're professional athletes. They've hopefully been.
Since we're talking about the actual NFL games that were played, and we were briefly sort of touching on the look and the feel of the game and how it resembled much more closely to what we had last year, which probably we weren't expecting. Did anything stand out and surprise you about any of the teams in the NFL, either surprisingly bad or surprisingly good that you didn't anticipate?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean,
which team stood out to you as either performing above, and then those teams that you felt performed less? I mean, Indianapolis obviously just destroyed a ton of people, playing a Jacksonville team that seemingly had given up on the season, and they just laid an egg. Any explanation for why that happened?
Aside from Phillip Rivers just being really good at choking at the end of games. I mean,
is it a choke, or is it the fact that anybody with 9 children, is going to have serious problems in their life?
A 4-hour game.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing: he wouldn't be writing weekly recaps.
No,
in his.
He'd hire somebody to do it.
Every time I look at my mouth, the beard looks like my teeth are black. I had to my teeth are fine. I think they took him for granted a little bit. I think Minshew is talented. I believe that people were underestimating the strength of the offense a little bit. I mean, Fournette leading. I don't, running backs I don't think matter too much. The new guy Robinson there looks actually pretty decent, and I think Minshew is a talented quarterback, and he's got some weapons in wide receiver with Chanel and Chark, and even we saw a resurgence of Keelan Cole, who I loved a couple of years ago, was a disappointment. But when you look at that team, look, I don't think they're going to win many games this year, but I think they'll be more competitive. And if you sleep on them, this is the NFL. There's no really really bad teams. I mean, honestly,
well, I was week one after a season that starts off like this with the COVID and no pregame and the whole situation. I'm not putting a whole lot of stock into week one. It's essentially all 4 preseason games rolled into one. That's what I took that for. So any players that really tanked or any players that did really good, it's all going to fall into place. Guys are going to end up where they're going to be, and they're going to do what they're going to do. Week one, it was a litmus test for all these guys, and for some of these guys, a lot of the rookies. It was the first full speed NFL play they got a chance to hit.
Yeah, and you didn't see much rookie. We'll go through the leaderboards, but I mean this first week was not about rookies. I mean, there were very few that stood out as
City.
Hilaire is because when I watched his highlights, they called him Hilaire, and then Hilaire. I don't know what it is, but he's it must be like a French thing. But by the way, Alexi, we also joined not just by Alexi. So now we're up to another team owner. We have our newest owner who has joined us, Brad Greenstein. I call him Barry because he calls me Dan, and he looks quite handsome in that picture. Very young. Yeah, that's a little old, right?
In fact, that was taken. I'll tell you when that picture was taken. I think I took that picture. That's in my apartment. That was right after Caston was born. I think he may be holding Caston in that picture. So that's 11 years ago. That's Barry Greenstein 11 years ago in my apartment.
11 rough years. I mean, let's be honest. A lot of vaping. A lot of living, a lot of vaping. So also, Alexi is calling Brad such a suck up for that very nice comment that he made. Of course, Alexi has to.
Barry, you have to get used to Alexi. It's all fun, kind of. He means it, but it's
Alexi also
a quick transgression or
that's no digression. I think so.
Digression, right? Yeah, we don't want to do any transgressing.
That's all I do, baby. I've transgressed already today.
I welcomed my brother-in-law to the league. I think this is one of the reasons why you probably have given up your writing, because you only get shit for it. I got 0 response, not even from Brad. And I thought
for your introduction of Brad. Yeah, that was
one response.
Yeah, that was annoying. It was well.
Jay, there's so much reading that goes into being in the NCL.
That's right.
You can't read everybody's email.
Right? I figured I'd give the league a little bit.
Hey, listen, I appreciated it. I thought it was well done. I hope Brad appreciated it. It was a loving tribute. Hey, look what we got here. We got our next. We got Aaron Bodzin. I don't even know. It's Bodzin. People, I've heard it pronounced so many different ways. But it could be Bodzin. Let us know. Is it bod, as in Aaron has a good bod, or is it Bode? And then is it Zin or Zine? There's lots of different ways to do it. But thank you for noticing the fine-looking men. I mean, clearly I'm third on the list here if we're going to go by attractiveness right now. And Jay, sorry, Fred, but Jay's number 1 right now. He's looking so...
Well, he does look suave.
He's got the collar up, like...
He looks like he just got back.
Lawyer. I went into the city today. I had.
Did you just get back from the Cape and do a little boating?
I went out on the ocean today. And
it is a little bit.
We did some sailing.
Okay, so he's saying it's Bodzin. So that's what I always said. I think other people pronounce it differently. Thanks for joining us, Aaron, and thanks for joining us, Brad and Alexia.
Aaron.
Hey, Aaron. So. I thought, and Alexi, by the way, made a very good. He's not only a viewer, but he's making a good point. I said there were no bad teams, and the Jets are a really, really bad team. I mean, I will be shocked if they win 2 games. No team's going to go, winless. I don't think this year. But the Jets just are awful, just truly, truly awful. And let's get into the performance of the week. So again, in these emails that I send out, I send out the leaderboards, the best possible lineup you could have. And so I'm just going to bring in right now the. Let's see how it looks. Can you guys see that?
Yes.
These are the best performers for week 1. And at the top of the list, we have Josh Jacobs, who I loved. I loved this
too.
year.
I got him in another league. He's a dynamite running back for that team.
He's so good. He's just so he's not super fast, but he knows how to run. He'll very rarely get caught behind the line of scrimmage, and he's just very, very talented. And the big question I always had, and I don't understand why they didn't do this last year, is they always put in Richard when they wanted to throw the ball, or another guy. He's very capable as a receiver. I mean, you look at his college tape; he could catch the ball just fine. Yeah. And I never understand why coaches put in these running backs who are like clearly not going to get carries, and so you don't even have to worry about it, and they're just going to catch the ball. And I think it gives the defense a lot less to think about. So you put in a... Yeah, sorry, Fred, go on.
Well, I think they did that for him for his rookie year because younger rookies in the NFL, they tend to die off towards the end of the year. So you don't want the guy you don't want to run the guy into the ground so early. You want to last out.
I mean, maybe that was part of it. And he did get banged up by the end of the year. But, little screen passes, they're typically, it's much harder to run between the tackles. There's a lot more likelihood of getting hurt or fatigue. But anyways, they clearly are. I don't remember how many targets he had. I think he had like 5 or something, 6. So they're using him in the passing game. If they do that, the sky's the limit for this kid. Great pickup by This Is the Tits squad. I think it was, they were the number 11 pick. And they ended up losing this week, and we're going to get into that because they were the closest game of the week. So they kind of wasted this huge performance by Josh Jacobs. But I think you're going to get more of that. You're going to see him a lot in this leaderboard to come this year. Raiders look pretty good. They have a much better offense this year. Derek Carr looked pretty decent as a quarterback. And they were able to squeak out the win. I think they're going to be a better than expected team out there in the AFC West. He was the one running back, the second running back. You go all the way down to 9, but it's the guy you always expect to see. That's Christian McCaffrey, number 1 pick in the lead. The Blockbusters paid, I forget how much money, over $79.
$79. You gave
$79 in order
going to 80 for Jerry Rice.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Well worth it.
That's correct. And Alexi is saying why he's wondering why he can't see his team name on this list. I wonder how. Let's see how far we have to scroll down.
I want to know why we're just a kissing emoji. Why are the pizza bagels a kissing emoji?
You must have changed.
That wasn't
me. You set that up at some point.
That wasn't me, dude.
I set up this thing. This is happy endings. This is.
I love that. No, that's brilliant.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, I love it. It's a head massage and an eggplant and an eruption.
That's right.
It's absolutely perfect.
Thank you for noticing that.
You're welcome.
And so we go. This has top 32, and we still don't see Alexi's team name here. Let's see if we go to
top
64. If we 64, he's got to have someone in the top 64.
Look at the Nixon administration.
Oh, there he is. Oh no, he was there. I didn't see. I miss. He's there with Gardner Minshew, and he's there with Carson Wentz. But quarterbacks are kind of expected to be on this list.
Look at the free. Wait, go back down.
Where?
Number of free agents. Taysom Hill.
Oh, these are all quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, guys. Let's see. Technical problems. Okay, here's the top 64.
I got excited.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta put in my fab.
Yeah.
So here we go with All Cry. First guy is
Kamara. 34, Alvin Kamara. Number 34.
Alvin Kamara. Who Alvin Kamara, by the way, I think he had 20 rushes for 10 yards, and he just got really lucky with a couple of, I don't know if it was passes or.
He had a 45-yarder at the end of the game.
Oh, but that time he got
That's
caught at like the
unfortunate.
1 yard line. They didn't give him the touchdown. He got tackled at the half. So it could have been a better day. But Kamara sucks, dude. I think the Saints are in trouble this year. I really do. I mean, obviously Michael Thomas is now.
Michael Thomas, you're definitely in trouble. I mean,
that's a big injury for them. But if you look at the game, I think they were lucky that Tom Brady and company were far from firing on all cylinders, and I just think Breeze. I really think he's close to done. Now, again, his game for a while hasn't been like kind of necessarily deep balls, but I just was not impressed with what I saw from Drew Brees and company. But let's go back quickly. So we talked about Jacobs and McCaffrey had a typical McCaffrey game.
Devontae Adams.
One thing to notice, by the way,
wow.
Before we go to Devontae Adams, who, by the way, I highlighted this in my draft analysis piece, in that Alexi and Boris took him as a number 4 wide receiver, and I thought that was totally insane. I guess it was Hill, Thomas, and I don't even know who the number 3 receiver who went before him was. Who?
Julio.
Who had a good game. Fine. But Devontae, that's all they got. I said, like, this guy's going to break the target record this year. I said that in the piece. In week 1, 17 targets, 2 touchdowns, 39 points. Huge week for him. He's not going to have that every week, but the Packers were a little bit of a surprise to me. Rodgers looked damn good. He's been off for a couple of years, and
I expected Rodgers. This was either going to be his last year in the NFL, or he was going to go back to being Aaron Rodgers. I mean, that's the way he's been trending. Like, if he got any worse, I mean, which wasn't bad. Like, last year he had 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Yeah. But it just wasn't Aaron Rodgers kind of.
Yeah, but they didn't add any weapons for him, and it was the second year in the offense, but you didn't know whether he can't run, or he's not been a running quarterback. Like, that used to be part of his game. It just really hasn't been. He kept getting injured. Yeah, I said Kamara sucks. That's right. Okay, he doesn't suck. He's fine, but I don't think he's a bell cow. I think he's going to get exposed.
Let me ask you a quick question with regard to the running backs. Mixon or Kamara? Who would you rather have on your team?
Me Mixon. But I could see Kamara. But
I'd go Kamara because he's on the better team.
Yeah. With obviously a more established quarterback, you don't really know what you're going to get with Burrow, and they're clearly going to probably try and force Burrow to beat them. I mean, that's so they'll kind of key in on running backs. But Mixon's younger. He's a much more, in my opinion, more typical type of between the tackle runner. Yeah. And yet he's got all the skill sets that Kamara has in terms of pass catching and shiftiness. So I don't know. To me, it's a very close call.
They'll probably end up, close with points at the end of the year.
Yeah, if they remain healthy. But to me, that's another thing that with Alvin was, he started the year getting like an epidural. Which, I mean, that to me, that's just not a good sign. I mean, if you're getting these pain shots before. What's that?
He was pregnant.
No, he's pregnant. Yeah. Oh, okay. If you're getting these pain shots before anyone's touched you, really, then it's just going to get worse.
The list of guys that are getting that in the NFL is probably much longer, but you just don't hear about it as much.
All right, we're at the 28-minute mark. I know we got to keep to the 45-minute.
Yeah, we got to get going. Well, we want to keep to the 45 minutes because Jay's going to be hooked out of here by Allie.
Jay's got to go tuck himself in tonight.
Exactly.
But. Just the other point about running backs. There was 2 running backs that ran for over 100 yards: Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Derrick Henry. And Derrick Henry took like 40 carries.
No. What about my boy Malcolm Brown or whatever?
Oh, did he run for over 100? Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. No, my bad. That's a surprise, huh?
Not our boy yet.
No, what do you mean?
Oh, so can we just say it? Can we just put?
No.
Brad, what do you mean no?
No.
I can't say this trade?
No, because it's not.
You're still working. You're still
working out the details.
Okay. Well, the first iteration with. I'm just. But that was for. Look at Fred. Fred's still mad.
As he still continues. Brad, shut the computer off.
How about this? You know what? No. Brad, stick around, and for everyone that's watching, I think it is important for us to have a discussion about it. I am of the mindset that I want to help the team that I hope will help us.
Right. You want to win-win.
Yeah. And with that, I figure Jarvis Landry for Malcolm Brown is a fair trade for a team that's desperate for a running back. The Pizza Bagels are desperate for a running back. Brad and the Mixon administration are deep with running back talent. Now, Brad's point is he's got 3 handcuffs. So if none of the starters get injured, he's really not as deep as we all think. But he still has plenty. He still has plenty of trades. So anyway, Jarvis Landry for Malcolm Brown and $5 of fab money on top of the fab money that we get for making the trade. Is that a fair trade?
What was say it again for the
Jarvis Landry for Malcolm Brown and $5 of fab.
Look, I mean, like right now, Jarvis Landry is hurt. They looked really bad.
He's playing Thursday.
They think he's playing Thursday, but they look bad. Baker looks bad. Like, so Brown was, if we scroll here, he was the third.
Oh, Aaron just corrected me. He ran 79 yards, but caught, I think, 30 yards.
That's right. I thought it was only Allaire and Henry who had the 100-yard gains, which is a surprise. Malcolm Brown
had negative 100.
Malcolm Brown was the 4th highest scoring running back this week. Now, will that continue? No, of course not. Cam Akers is going to get run. I think Darrell Henderson didn't get much run because he was still kind of coming back from his hamstring. So it's going to be a committee there. I think Brad would do well to trade Malcolm Brown. I'm not saying that that's not necessarily a bad decision on his part. And I think you're making, you're starting the talks and the negotiation. It's
a Band-Aid for us, and it's a long investment for him. That's really what it is.
I don't know.
It's a quick Band-Aid for us because Brown's probably going to get, some run until he runs out of gas or they just decide to make the switch, which could be next week or it could be in week 6. Who knows? It's going to happen though. And Landry, as long as he stays healthy, he's going to be a huge target for the Browns.
A bad team.
And if they're a bad team, they're going to throw a lot.
Yeah.
So he ends up getting more targets.
That's true. Alexi, by the way, that wasn't the trade that I saw. There was another component to the trade that I saw, which made it even less appealing.
But thank you, Alexi.
But Alexi gave you
supported by Alexi.
There you go. I mean, that's rare. If Alexi's being supportive,
so good.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? Here you can see the rest of I'm going to get rid of the screen and go back to us beautiful faces. But because we talked enough about the week that was. We do not want this to be over 45 minutes to an hour.
Well,
I know, but I wanted to defend your buddy Steve, our buddy Steve.
Yeah.
You had I think pointed out publicly that you were not very impressed with Come On Man squad. And I had taken a look at it. I think aside from maybe some question at quarterback, it's not as bad as you made it out to seem in your email. What don't you like about Come On Man squad?
Okay, so I guess we're going to go into this. So I'm going to bring us back in.
Unless you don't want to.
Well, no, it's fine. We want to move along. We're going to
defend Steve a little bit. I looked at his lineup, and I can understand where you may have some questions about his quarterback position, but tell me what you don't like about.
Well, first of all, now Michael Thomas is hurt.
Well, right.
So his number one pick is gone probably for a couple of weeks. Although Michael Thomas seems like a guy who's going to try and push it, but I don't like when, especially running backs, but even wide receivers, the ankles. Let those heal, man, because they can get re-injured so easily. I remember many years ago, C.J. Spiller had a sprained ankle, and he kept trying to come back, and he just wasn't the same. I mean, again, it's a little bit different.
They made him retire.
Basically, that was his last hurrah in the league.
Yep.
But every time you see the sprained ankle and they try and come back, I think especially this one seems pretty serious. It was a high ankle sprain. Like you got to let those heal because otherwise, it's very easy the moves these guys make to re-injure those.
Hamstring. If you don't let the hamstring heal completely, it's gonna come back.
Which is exactly what I told you about Le'Veon Bell.
Let's not have this conversation here.
Let's have it. Let's have it out.
He's not.
This is a private moment conversation.
Yeah. No. I love it. Le'Veon Bell is a hamstring. Hamstrings are big ass troubles. So, anyways, but let's look because this is the game of the week. This was really our only close game. this week. Hey, Caston, what's going on, buddy? Welcome to For Crying Out Loud, the live streaming show. We have a little boy nudity here, which is exactly what you want on YouTube.
We just got tagged on YouTube.
Yeah, that's right.
Not allowed to.
The feds
broadcast for 6 months.
There you go.
By the way, he proudly wears his Cardinals blanket around the house.
How do you like that Hopkins? I can't believe I gave you guys Hopkins.
Or that Hopkins.
That was pretty great. Another guy who's going to get all the options there.
Great.
They're gonna send all the balls.
Michael Thomas sucks.
Oh. Whoa,
Michael. He's garbage. He runs slants all day for 3 yards. Awful.
Wow. Little Twitter war there going on.
Wow.
I feel like.
Okay.
So anyway, hammies. I feel the same way. Ankles. This is what we're gonna go. This is the game of the week. The No Crying League game of the week. We had Come On Man versus This Is the Squad, and it was less than a 2-point difference. And if you look, I mean, if I remember correctly, they had a few Monday night play. Yeah, they had Tannehill, they had Melvin Gordon. I believe Tannehill. Oh yeah, Tannehill. The last, I don't know if you remember this. He had AJ Brown wide open at the end of that game, and he missed him. At the end, I don't know if you saw the Monday.
Yeah.
And so if he had completed that touchdown, the
Tits wins.
The Tits wins.
So let me say for Steve, to lose your number one pick in the first game and still come out with a win, and not only a win but score a good amount of points.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good draft. I mean, week 1 and all, no preseason, but that's a pretty good draft. To go through that in week 1 and still come out with a win and have one of the higher points scored. That was pretty decent.
Look at the performances there. I mean, these are solid, balanced all throughout. No huge performers, no one above 25 points. It looks like, but a lot of players who did what they're supposed to do. A lot of players
were involved. Yeah.
But look at the quarterbacks. Tom Brady. I was high on him. I thought he was going to come out guns blazing, and you don't want to sell. You don't want to say he's done because it's Tom Brady. He's the greatest of all time, no doubt. I think he's going to get better with the weapons he has. But although Chris Godwin now looks like he's concussed, and Mike Evans still dealing with hammy. I mean, it's
but when those guys get healthy, I mean, I don't think either of them have an ankle or a hammy, right?
Baker Mayfield obviously had a tough matchup, but he just hasn't looked good for a long time. And again, I was a Baker fan coming out of college. I really wanted to get him in my dynasty league. But look at the running backs: Kareem Hunt, DeAndre Swift, Rex Burkhead, Tariq Cohn. Now David Johnson looked.
Yeah.
I mean,
he looked like maybe he's back a little bit.
He might be back, and if that's the case, then that is big. But I'm still not believing
sold on that.
Yeah.
Right. I just like how they utilized him in the game. It was the first game of the season. Obviously, a lot of people watching that game. I'm sure we were all watching, and it was easy to focus your attention on a guy who I think most people probably feel a little badly for. He was a star in the making. At least he had that one amazing year with Arizona, and then he becomes part of a trade where everybody in the media and every football fan across the country said, what a terrible, lopsided, awful trade.
Right.
There are real people involved. David Johnson
how fantastic
have avoided that news.
Right.
So if you have any heart at all, you're kind of a David Johnson fan. I'm cheering for David Johnson.
How fantastic for David Johnson to finally play with a quarterback.
What does that mean? He played with Carson Palmer. He was great.
Yeah, and then Carson Palmer was gone, and he had nobody. I mean, it kind of goes with each other. When you have a quarterback who's decent, who's not
Deshaun got a lot of garbage points then. He looked a little lost without his Hopkins blanket, and I'm not convinced. I'm just not convinced in that team. I'm not convinced in him as running back. And then with Michael Thomas out, now Crowder, okay, we talked about how bad the Jets were, and he obviously was the only shining star, and I don't think that's going to end anytime soon, given that they're going to be behind in every game, and they're so banged up at receiver. I'm sure he's going to get peppered with targets, kind of like Devontae Adams, to not less. He'll be a much less efficient Devontae Adams probably, but fine. DK Metcalf, I love Juju
and DK Metcalf.
Yeah, sure. I mean, look,
It was a good draft. He had a really good draft.
All right, so
Anyway,
I hate to say
whatever.
it, but I'm telling you, when I said which 1-0 team do you feel like is most likely to finish out of the playoffs, my pick remains. Come on, man. Did anyone else
the
take a
1-0
look?
teams?
The only reason why
Yeah.
I'm happy that you're saying that is that I'm happy
Pizza
to be one of
Bagels.
those 1-0 team. That's what are you talking about, Fred?
I'm a
Pizza
little
Bagels?
worried about our team.
Well, okay, so let's talk about your team because you as you said, you're desperate for running backs.
Yep.
You don't have Le'Veon Bell anymore. Kerryon Johnson just
Doesn't count. I was saying to Brad today, the only time you'll hear Kerryon Johnson's name on the PA system is when he's running out of the tunnel being announced as a starter, and that's it. You don't hear his name. The
look.
rest of the game.
Did you watch the game? Because I own Kerryon it
on the the red zone. I didn't see a whole lot of it. What do you think? He doesn't do anything.
No, he was he had a very bad first drive, and I missed the first drive. But the other carries that I saw, I thought he looked fine. But obviously AP, whatever that guy eats or does, I mean, that guy is fucking insane at 35 years old. 35 years old, and he looks so spry. Now he did this last year. He comes out, he looks fresh, he looks good,
great.
And then he gets hurt. He gets tired. Like he's, that's where the age
Then he
kicks
becomes
in.
35. Yeah.
So it'll be interesting because I believe he's a free agent, or did someone pick him up? Someone have him already?
Someone's about to.
Somebody's going to pick up.
Well, yeah. So we'll see what he goes for because people have been. Well, we have a desperate team. We have a carry-on owner. What was I going to say? But yeah, so we'll see if he becomes kind of full school. Every year, there's someone who gets bought, everyone gets excited about, and ends up being a relative disappointment in terms of the rest of the year in terms of free agent pickups. But look, I will never begrudge someone for spending a lot of money first week one. You see the players now, the real live action, and you need to make moves. It's a short season, and there's what good is free agent money sitting waiting for the right moment if you end up missing the playoffs because of it.
Especially given how shallow our free agent pool is with all of the expanded rosters you created with the taxi squads, and I mean there's nobody out there. I mean that I took a quick look today.
Yeah,
I didn't see anyone that excites me. I mean aside from AP. It's pretty shallow.
It's kind of bare. It's kind of bare in the free agent market. I mean,
it is,
but maybe that ramps up trades. Maybe more people will be active with trades to get what they need.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're not going to get it from free agency.
Don't forget about our trade incentive fee. You get 10 extra
10 fab, right?
$10 of important fab, although
right.
it's
so Brad,
it's barren.
you get 15 fab dollars.
That's right. So the rest, so you have Hopkins, and then besides Hopkins, well, Watkins was a nice surprise for you guys.
Yeah, very nice surprise.
But yeah,
and Edelman,
yeah. Edelman, Newton, the Patriots look pretty good, and you have Darren Waller, who's solid, great defense in the Steelers, and then you have those quarterbacks. I mean, that's that you went that route, and
no, without a doubt. I mean,
Lamar is fantastic. What a fantastic specimen there. All right, so this was let's what did we have anything else?
We have some good games coming up next week.
Okay, let's take a quick look at the schedule, and then we'll call it a day. And we'll be better prepared next week. This was kind of a trial run. I like having this discussion, and we'll see.
Should we try to make a prediction based on the team's rosters, or are we just going to let
Well, let's see what we got.
Go ahead.
We got head-to-head matchups. So we have some big division matchups. I play the reigning champion Dan. CFL is better. He's favored by 37 points according to the
site.
The site, yeah. Let me see if I can zoom in on this.
Are you the biggest You're not even the biggest underdog at minus 30 at plus 37. You got the Mixon administration over Tears of Noshan, a 44-point favorite, and Volke, deservedly so, a 43-point favorite over Come On Man.
Yeah. Yeah, in terms of surprises in our league, Volke to me was one of the surprises. I was not the biggest fan of their team. I thought they were kind of like a bubble team, but they ended up having obviously the top score of the week. And I don't remember exactly how that went down. Who did they have?
Raheem Mostert.
Mostert.
Cam Newton.
Yeah, Devontae Adams.
Robbie Anderson.
Matt Ryan.
Yeah, Robbie Anderson had that big, long touchdown.
Yeah, Robbie Anderson's another one. Like, people are fawning over, and it's like, that was one catch. I mean, like, he did get some targets, and he had, like, I think he had, like, I don't know how many. He had a fair amount of catches, but it was, most of his points came in that one kind of lucky, I would say somewhat lucky.
But he's exactly
6 catches,
the kind of guy
115 yards and a touchdown, 8 targets.
That's a great stat line. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, and Darren, I think you agree with this strategy in the draft. And Fred and I are always debating back and forth. A late round draft pick has to be your home run hitters. Once maybe every 5 games, they give you that stat line, and when
Will Fuller.
Well, Will Fuller is the number one guy there. I think. Yeah. But I 100%. Robbie Anderson's a great
huge upside,
great late round pickup.
Yeah.
Like, again, I got upset or whatever. I called out the Craig football team for picking Frank Gore as their last pick, which, okay, now it looks like he might be a starter, fine. But even as a starter, are you excited about Frank Gore and your team? I mean, like, crappy offense, about as worn down of a back as you could possibly get. Like, not going to catch a ton of balls. Like, where's the upside there? Like, go Robbie Anderson, Benny Snell. Like, again, I talked about this. I don't know if Alexi's still listening to me, but that was if you read my I know it's been 1 week, but if you reread my draft analysis piece, there is 80% prescient stuff in there, and then there's like 20% where you're like, it looks like that's not going to end up.
So at the end of the year, we're going to get a lot of green.
So far,
and not so much red.
Well, we'll have plenty of red. I'm sure there'll be more red as the year goes on. But I said, like Benny's, because again, I wasn't a big fan of Connor because of his injury history. But if you don't like Connor and you like the offense and you like the running game, you got to go with the backup. And I was, all the reports where Benny Snell looked a lot better this year. I think his weight did seem to be a big issue last year.
15 pounds.
Yeah, and
quicker.
Much sprier, quicker, more agile. It's kind of like Le'Veon Bell. It's the same deal. Le'Veon Bell came into this league overweight, did not look particularly agile or quick, and then the next year he came back a new running back and dominated the league. Now I'm not saying Benny Snell's going to do that, but he has that potential. Anyway, that's the kind of late round picks you want to get, not the Frank Gores. And so the schedule for next week. So it seems like there's gonna be a lot of blowouts. You're expected to be in the closest game of the week next week against Farhan and Leap's Blockbusters team. You are 1 point underdogs, which is insane. But we'll see how it goes. Obviously, it's just 1 week down. It's a long season, long way to go. Do not panic, Alexi. Do not panic. Everything looked like it's going bad, but we'll.
Things can change on a dime.
Things can change in a dime. Big injury, one injury can happen and really make things a lot different. So, anyways, Fred, Jay, I want to thank you for being part. Thank you. Yes, Jay, Fred,
yes,
Darren. I want to thank you for being part of the first ever live streaming show for Crying Out Loud. No Crying League. We're gonna get better at this. They're gonna complain. They're gonna yell, say it was a waste of time. We went on like doofuses. That's fine. I'll show them this again. Bite me.
And by the way, Darren, I think if if I'm not wrong, but you're going to open up this live show to their comments, just as look, Alexi has a stage here. I don't give a fuck about Benny Snell. Like if they feel like participating in any way, this is a forum for them too.
Please throw comments at us.
It will be so much better if people participate. We're gonna have one on as a guest every week as a fourth co-host.
Should we get Farhan on here?
I nominate Alexi next week.
Alexi should be our first guest.
Alexi, will you be our first guest next week, please?
Alexi, let us know.
I think we need to interview each owner of every team at least once during the year.
That would be.
I think that's a great goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a production meeting after this. Jay, tell the wife and kids you won't be back for an hour.
Right, exactly. That should go over well. That'll be my last. What do we call this? Live stream? I can't call it a podcast or a webinar. It's a live stream.
Yeah, YouTube live stream show.
All
All right. Thanks again, guys. Good luck in week 2.
Good luck, everybody.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
good luck,
free agent
everybody.
bids in.
Yeah,
Brad,
get your free agent bids at 11
call
p.m.
me.
Oh, take a guess. Let's.
No.
You probably don't want to reveal your bid, but what number do you think the top bid goes for? You said it's Darren. Do you think it's? I'll give you an over under. You tell me over under. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
You don't. I mean, obviously you have control over it, so it may not be fair. But I'll say $30.
Are we doing a particular player, or just the highest player?
Well, I don't want. In case you have a player in mind,
Okay.
I don't want. But
Wait,
30
wait. Forget us for just a second. Your question is, how much will the highest free agent go for this week?
Yes.
Over
First
under
one.
30?
Yes.
Yeah.
Under.
I'm gonna go over.
I think under, but we'll see. It'll be interesting to see. All right, man. Get your bids
guys.
in. Thanks again, guys.
Take care. Thanks.
Later.
All right.
Later.
Thanks for watching. How do we end? I don't know how we end. No, let's end with some music.
Oh yeah.
Do, 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 do.
And I wonder, can you get in trouble for playing music? Is there a copyright infringement or anything?
We were talking about that before you
We
came
were
on.
talking about
Oh, you have to be careful.
And
with
we're
that.
still live.
No, I'm still live. This is good. This is like
Well, let's give credit to the artist. Who are you playing?
this is
This is
they're
stock.
called
This
they're
is
called
like,
they're called jingle punks. But this is look what Alexi predicted. This is jingle punks. This is like copyright free.
Oh,
So
cool.
we have no problems here. Brad says under.
Yeah.
Yeah, Brad. Well, it's easy when you have a great team.
Right.
You don't have any way to improve.
Destiny.
As he's got to be a little upset though that all those backups and the guy who gets hurt is Connor.
Yeah, but he got a
Yeah.
nice game out of Madison, if I'm not mistaken. He
Madison
got
is
13
good.
points.
I think that
right?
kid's gonna play a lot.
Yeah, it does look like he's kind of a maybe like a 1B this year for not
That's a great. And look, you picked up on it right away with the draft recap.
That's right.
You spotted it, and now you're noticing the mirror effect, right?
Yeah. All right, guys.
All right. See ya.
Later.